My memories of my dad running the club go back a long way, and I think I was probably 5 the first time I stepped in. And back then it was predominantly a jazz club, and in the 60s the first thing he did was take jazz out of the title, and he called it the 100 Club because it's on 100 Oxford Street, and immediately started putting in residencies with the Stones, with the Who, with the Kinks, bands like that. And gradually, that's how the club's sort of eclectic mix of music, which we're famous for now, that's how it all started.
The time I was down there most would have been from about 76 through 77, 78, when it became a focus for a lot of punk bands. There was so much controversy surrounding the Sex Pistols from very, very early on that a lot of venues wouldn't take them. But the 100 Club had the idea of having a 2-night punk festival, and the first night was headlined by the Pistols with the Clash, and also the very first gig by Susie and the Banshees with Sid Vicious on drums. The Pistols and the Clash were absolutely spectacular there. I mean, that kind of small club environment was just perfect.
I've been going there for about 4 years now, ever since I moved to London, and the thing that always gets me is that it looks so dingy from the outside. It's true what everyone says, because you see the footage from the Sex Pistols days and you think, God, it looks awful. And then you go in, and that's what you want it to be. You want these venues to be grimy and a little bit kind of seedy in a way. And that's exactly what the 100 Club is. I love walking down the stairs there, I love all the posters on the wall. But then you get into the actual venue itself and it's brilliant.
Well, the White Stripes gig is probably only second to the Oasis gig for the amount of interest there was. I mean, the interest in Oasis was phenomenal. And I remember being in the club, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, suddenly the back doors were thrown open and these lads all came running down the stairs with football, and this football went flying past my ear and hit the shutters of the bar. And I turned around, it was all the lads from Oasis all kicking this football about. Complete lack of respect for the club and everything.
From a new band point of view, I end up going there quite a lot. I saw Jake Bugg there quite recently, he was really good, it was packed. Saw the Vaccines there back in the day as well. Pretty much everybody who's everybody plays there. It's an important thing to do.
Come 5-6 years later, 2001 I think it was, when the White Stripes played, they were a lot more organised, so we had the crowd and everything else, that was much better controlled. I remember Jack White coming into the club with just an amp in one hand and his guitar in the other. And I said, we're really honoured, obviously, like massive band, that you'd chosen the 100 Club as your first gig. And he went, well, it was always going to be that way. He said, when I was a kid growing up in Detroit, he said I had an album by Sunhouse that was recorded live down here. He said I used to play it day after day after day. He said it's my favourite record ever, and it's all recorded live in the club. And on the front of the album is a picture of Sunhouse with the big 100 Club stage behind him. And Jack said, basically, if it hadn't been for that album, there probably wouldn't have been a White Stripes. That was his biggest influence. So if he ever made it, the first place he was going to play across the pond was going to be the 100 Club.
The 100 Club is classic, legendary. I've had a number of kind of really important nights in my life there.
It's just got that thing, you feel like there are bits of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards that are sort of have melted into the wall.
Yeah.
It's got that much kind of history to it.
Yeah, it's such an iconic London rock venue, and it was just amazing to play there and think of all the amazing music that's been soaked up in the walls.
Paul McCartney did recently save it from closure by doing a gig there at the last minute.
What was his
And Chris Martin tweeted don't close it, and then they didn't.
So he did his part too.
Yeah.
140 characters worth.
Yeah. Paul McCartney did a gig, Chris tweeted. He was probably sweating bullets trying to decide whether he should really use his power to, you know what, fuck it. I believe in this.
I think the 100 Club was probably one of our first big London shows, like in the centre of London, and it's terrifying because you're struck by the history of it, and I think it's important that those places are saved,
Yeah, I was gutted when I heard the rumours it was possibly on its way out. You want the absolute centre of London to have an amazing music venue. It seems wrong that it shouldn't do. So that was the kind of saddest thing about those rumours.
They were really bad times, but they were also really uplifting times.
The idea that it might have been closed was pretty unthinkable. So many other great London venues have, vanished.
And we came really close, but some of the acts of kindness and some of the letters and, there was also some amazing things that people know about. Paul McCartney playing there and highlighting the plight of the club was an amazing thing, especially when he got up at the end and said, "Mr. 100, you've got to try and keep this place. It is really, really cool." We'd never played there before. In an hour and a half, he actually got what the club was about. You know, other just amazing gestures. Ronnie Wood coming and playing and donating his fee. I'm really excited about the future of the club because there's hope now. You know, Converse are like having your sort of big brother sort of looking after you.
It has assumed a place in legend. I mean, it already seemed legendary to me when I first used to scan the back pages of Melody Maker. So many other great London venues have vanished. It's just incredible that the 100 Club is still there as it deserves to be.